It's been a while. It's been a while since we've chatted. It's been a while since I made a video. Um, if this is your first time watching, my name is Roderick Edwards, and in November I'll be running the Indianapolis Marathon, where my goal is to break sub 3. So, kind of been chipping away at it for about the past 2 months now. Probably a little over 2 months, like seriously. I've made a couple episodes highlighting some training, some things that I've been doing. But this is going to be a little bit different of a conversation. I kind of want to hop in here and just kind of give a recap, or I guess not so much of a recap, but I want to hop in here and kind of give you guys an update on my training, where I'm at, average weekly mileage, how's nutrition been going, how's fueling been going, how's managing a full-time job, wife, kids, extracurricular activities, all the things, trying to get at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep every night, all of that. It's been a rocky road. When you commit to something hard like this, it's gonna come with sacrifice. You sacrifice relationships, you sacrifice missing out on things, you sacrifice quality time, and it's a list of things. I can keep going on and on, but committing to a goal, especially one like this, it takes a lot of your time, it takes a lot of your energy. In doing that, you got to be prepared for what comes with that. You probably can hear my kids in the background right now, but stuff like that, man. I pride myself on family. I pride myself on being there for them. I pride myself on being a good husband, being a good father, being a good friend. Going through this has taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about myself. It's taught me a lot about the limits that a person can set on themselves. You'd be surprised at what you can accomplish if you put your mind to it. I started officially, quote unquote, training, I guess you can say, for this marathon in June. And by that point, my base was built up to about 70 miles a week. I'd say comfortably 70, maybe 75 miles a week. And that was good. That was sustainable. No true workouts yet, really just logging miles and getting used to the new norm. Kind of backtracking, when I look back at Atlanta Marathon, I realized I wasn't really doing a whole lot of anything. I was just kind of running, and then hopefully letting my athleticism kind of get me through come race day. I want to say I peaked around 70 miles, but I only did that once. But I think on average I was running between 45 to 55 miles a week, which isn't a small number by any means. When you zoom out and you kind of observe your training, I've come to realize that it wasn't enough. I didn't do any marathon pace specific training. I didn't do any long runs. My sleep wasn't as good. My nutrition wasn't as good. And it's not to say that I wasn't making it a point to eat, but I wasn't, consuming enough carbs like I should have. I wasn't consuming enough protein like I should have. I still had habits in my life that, that was kind of hindering myself from reaching peak performance. And I knew that going into this build that I was going to make a lot of changes that could help put me in the best position to reach this goal. Going into this build at around 70 miles a week was a major plus. I think I sat there for like the first 4 to 5 weeks. So from maybe June until like the first week of July, I was in the mid to high 70s. Once July came, July, I would say was a transformative month for me. I started getting into the 80s range, and 80 became comfortable. 85 became comfortable. I'm doing key workouts. I'm doing at least a tempo or some type of track workout during the week to go with the long run. Like, all of these things are starting to become normal, and it's starting to feel good. Up until maybe a couple weeks ago, I had cracked 100 miles for the first time. And that was a huge breakthrough for me, because I see people do it all the time. I got a lot of friends who's hit the milestone and they just make it look so easy. I'm just like, man, 100 miles, like how am I going to do that? I'll say, to be able to run 100 miles a week you have to do a lot of doubles. And it's saying double is a frightening word, but I mean, you know, it's essentially just easy mileage. When you talk zone 2, that's really what we're getting at. You know, a lot of my work is in the morning, and then anything I do in the evening is typically like just accessory mileage. You know what I mean? Just to kind of keep the engine running and feeling strong. I'm at the point now where I'm doing doubles almost daily. So that's good, because it's almost like a norm to me, to where I think I'm more concerned about getting the double in than the actual workout in. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the morning is so fluid. Like, if I don't do it at 4 a.m., it's fine. You know, if I gotta do it at 6 or 7 a.m., it's cool. But it's like, if something happens and I'm like, dang, I can't get my double in, I get concerned, because those are the miles. I feel like those miles are pretty important, man. You know, especially when you're talking about being able to get through the wall when it hits you. Because everybody has a wall. You know what I mean? Now, where that wall hits you, I mean, it's runner dependent, but everybody has a wall. And, you know, and I know when the wall, when it comes time for me to face that wall, those miles that I was able to run, that kind of prepared me for that moment. And now I feel like, you know, a good week for me is running at least 90 miles. And I think I'm way ahead of schedule. I think I'm right where I need to be in terms of what I'm trying to do. My predictors have me on the high end, you know, and I don't get caught up in race predictors. Obviously, you got Strava, you got Kaiser, you got Garmin, you got whatever platform you use for predictors. You know, it can only give you your race prediction based off the stars being aligned, conditions being perfect, and you're probably on the flattest course possible, right? But I do think it's still a good guide to give you, to let you know if you're training in the right direction or not. But I think on the high end, Strava has me at like 258 or 257, and then Garmin has me at 254. So I don't know. I mean, both are sub 3, so I guess I'm doing something right. You never know, man. You can't get too caught up in those things, because anything can happen on race day, you know, for the good or for the bad. You know, I can get out there and surprise myself and go sub 250. I don't know. But then I can also get out there and not break sub 3, because, you know, I didn't stick to the plan, or I wasn't patient, or, you know, started having stomach issues, or, you know, an injury happens, you know, whatever. Like, anything can happen on race day. You know, the weather is warmer than what we thought. I'm running into a headwind. Like, I could just keep going on and on. Sitting at, you know, 3 months out, 12 weeks, I think we're right where we need to be. So yeah, to close this out, got 12 weeks remaining. I've really got some key workouts I want to hit to be best prepared for this moment. You know, been getting support from all areas, the family, my wife, friends, all of this stuff. It's been amazing, the process. So again, you know, don't limit yourself to what you think you can do. Hard work, you know, always beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So hopefully all these miles that I've ran, it's all worth it in the end. So that's a breakdown of my training, where I'm at, what I got coming up, and stay tuned for the next video.